Welcome to Inquisitive. Thanks for watching and listening. This second episode, we'll be talking about figure modeling, how to create a safer environment for art models, society's general perception on naked body, and social media censorship. Our guest, dear Prudence, shares with us some insights and experiences in her years of being a figure model. She is the founder of Sunday Nudes, a sketch group turned community that advocates for the safety of each member, most especially their models.
Hi Pao, maraming salamat sa pag-anyaya at saka pagpapaunlak. It's always a privilege and an honor to be given an opportunity to talk about Sunday Nudes, feminism, nudity, yung mga favorite subjects ko, community and art, in a more publicly accessible platforms like Inquisitive.
So, na tayo dun sa Sunday Nudes, which is a sketch community or a sketch group that you have created like a few years ago. Can you explain it more about us para medyo may context din yung ano natin, viewers natin?
So Sunday Nudes, for those who are not familiar, today, kasi nagkaroon na rin siya ng maraming evolutions. So Sunday Nudes is a feminist art community that centers and is exclusive to women and queer people. So queer LGBTQIA. We host life drawing sessions. And it started as that. It started as a life drawing group, ganyan. Pero it has since evolved evolved into, like, katulad dito, nagkakaroon na sa community ng conversations about different topics na that centers or yung mga concern ng women and LGBTQIA people, like reproductive health, na hindi masyadong pag-usapan, pleasure, non-monogamy, queerness, BDSM, mga fringe topics that are buhay sa kamalayan ng community. So yun. So we call those community check-ins. Actually, it started in the pandemic para lang magkamustahan yung mga tao. But that has always been in the DNA of Sunday Nudes na may sketching pero may kwentuhan. So ang ginawa ko ngayon, hiniwalay ko yung sketching para may time sa sketching and then develop the conversations more. We also have a feminist book club. So lately, mas naging feminist yung sentro ng Sunday Nudes. Kasi parang mas naging klaro na rin sa akin na, yun pala yung ginagawa. Yun pala yung ginagawa namin or yun pala yung mas natututunan ko sa community. So, art pa din, kasi lahat naman art eh. So yun, nagkaroon na rin kami ng feminist book club where we share books that inspire us or move us or like make us understand ourselves more. So we also have workshops for people who want to post nude. We also have sessions na yung mga artists yung nagsa-sketch. So minsan bumabalik pa rin sa art, bumabalik pa rin sa sketching, pero lumago na siya in that manner. Sunday Nude started in 2017 as a response to the harassment that goes on, especially during like life drawing session. So kasi nga may nakahubad, parang ang lapit nun sa, it shouldn't be the case, but unfortunately this is the world we live in. Ang lapit nun, ang daling ma-endanger nung taong nagpo-post kasi nga default nakahubad na siya and people don't know how to act around a naked body. Like we don't even know how to act around our own nudity eh. So ako bilang figure model, so I've been figure modeling when we started Sunday Nudes 2017, mga 7 years na ako nag-figure model, and I personally witnessed that, and my friends who are figure models as well or in the industry. And then nariringgan ko ng maraming story ng harassment, sexual or usually ganon, being hit on by these DOM artists, ganyan. So parang instead of being constantly angry or unable to work because I fear for my safety, naisip ko, like, how do I change it? I mean, hindi naman siya like malaking kosa, pero yun nga, instead of being fearful and losing out on getting gigs kasi I don't feel safe, ano ba yung pwede kong maibigay? Ano ba yung pwede kong ma-share? So that instead of feeling frustrated, I get to be in a more active role. So yeah, since I also have a background in organizing art sessions, and also at the time, I was lucky enough to have a space offered to me by a friend of the community na perfecto para sa life sketching. Yeah, I decided, despite the difficulty of hosting sessions, nag-decide ako na, sige, try natin. Baka naman pwede. So, pero more than anything, more than the space, more than the opportunity, ang backbone ng Sunday Nudes are the guidelines. Like, this is how you treat models. This is how I would like to be treated. Doon lang nagsimula yun eh. Tapos parang, through the years, in collaborating with artists, hindi, parang ano ba yung hinahanap ng artist, ano ba yung hinahanap ng model, tapos parang napagtagpi-tagpi ko rin kung ano ba yung magandang way, mga protocols, ganyan. Tapos ang mga concern ko pa nun, yun nga, fair pay for models, nagsimula yun sa ganyan. All-inclusivity, meaning, gusto ko rin kasing mag-offer ng iba't ibang uring katawan. Kasi yun din, from talking to artists, napansin ko na gusto nila ng variety. So, yun din. So, doon napasok yung konsepto ng all-inclusivity. Kasi, akala ko parang linyang body positive lang yon, na parang all-inclusive, meaning all types of bodies. Tapos, mas lumago yung definition, parang hindi lang naman mga katawan, parang mga identities. So, since marami rin akong kaibigan from the LGBTQI community, parang those are usually the first people invited to sketch and also to be sketched. So yung mula body positivity lang, like wanting a safe space for models, naging mag-imbita rin tayo ng iba't ibang uring katawan, tapos naging at iba't uring tao. So parang yun yung seed of what I was trying to do in 2017.
So can you talk a lot more about the boundaries? Like how were you able to come up with the guidelines?
I was just reminiscing with a friend who's also an artist na nakasama ko rin like early on. Like when I was started figure modeling. Tapos ngayon kasi with Sunday Nudes, I feel that napakadali na kasi everything is established, it's very light. Pero when we were talking about it, parang hard, when she actually reminded me na hard-earned yung comfort that we have from the Sunday Nudes community. Kasi parang, sabi niya, naalala mo nun, parang we had to, kasi we were younger, we were not men. Parang, tas ang mga, in contrast, parang we were talking to more established artists, na parang medyo mas matanda na, tas mas may pangalan. Tas parang ang hirap banggain nun, na parang we really started without any voice. And she reminded me that parang, oo nga, parang ang layo na rin nung narating. Now, it just feels easy because it's already established. Pero parang, yeah, ang layo na nung narating. And yeah, we actually had to find I think the guidelines were, for me, kasi ako mas nadadalian ako makipag-usap sa tao. Kasi hindi rin ako like, marunong masyado, especially before when I didn't have my voice. So it's easier for me to like put it in paper, na parang contract style. Na, like you said, parang take it or leave it because it's easier to give that option to people. Pag, eto, nakasulat na. This is what we're all about. Now, if you're not into that or like you feel like you're being nalilimit ka by hour, like the guidelines, you feel free to leave. So that's an easier conversation to have versus don't take photos. I am constantly having to remind people of not to do things that like you're not comfortable with. Parang mas madali pag nakakontrata na. So the guidelines actually started, like I mentioned earlier, but talking with artists as well, with models, with researching online, ano na ba in more established settings, ano ba ang ginagawa nila. And I was surprised like you, I was surprised to find out na walang established, at least not in the Philippines, walang established way for organizers and artists to interact with models. And ang hirap ng bridge na yun tawirin because, you know, as an artist, you don't have the experience of the model. Tapos as a model, hindi mo rin alam yung hinahanap ng artist. So the guidelines has been a way to bridge that gap. And the guidelines is very basic lang naman. No taking photographs, not asking the model too personal questions. Questions that are too personal, ano ba, no asking the model out, ganyan. At least in that setting, I haven't seen how it works. Like I haven't really tested that dynamic. But yeah, don't ask the model. Do not touch the model, especially when they're naked. Do not make comments on the model's bodies. Just on the other flip side of it, meron ding like responsibilities in model. Like please tag the art. Please ask the artist if they want to share the work, and also please tag them. I mean, ask consent if they want to be tagged. If they want their work shared, please consult first, because that's their work. When your body is your craft, their artwork is theirs. So parang yung basic respect lang. So yeah, it was difficult to craft the guidelines initially kasi nga kapa. Pero yun nga, all you can do is just take things from your experience. So
yung guidelines mo are also being requested by other groups na they're setting up their own sketch sessions. Also wanting to organize something similar, can they connect with you directly?
Like I mentioned earlier, I think safer spaces are hinged on prioritizing the voices in the ano ba yung makakabuti dun sa mga marginalized. So in this case, kunwari, Sunday Nudes, it's I see the models as the people na hindi lang actually the models, sila yung buhay ng session eh. Kasi kung walang model, walang sketching. Kasi pwedeng magka-sketching kahit lang yung artist. Pero pag zero yung model, walang sketching. So yun. So yeah, any safe space has to, or any safe society has to center the voices of the marginalized identities. So kung ano man yung binibuild nyo, yun dapat. And also, one way to center those voices is to actually acknowledge yung power disparity. Kasi hindi naman may iwasan na, di ba, wala yatang space na pantay-pantay tayong lahat. Wala masyadong ganun. So, hindi mapipigilan na may power disparity. But one way is to actually acknowledge it. Di ba? There's no way working around it. So, it's important to acknowledge it. And that's actually a way of leveling things. Hindi man magiging equal, pero at least acknowledge yung pareho. Tapos, yung sa tanong mo na I guess an important ingredient would also be vulnerability, so openness. So I guess, into your question, pwede naman nila akong kontakan. You can only guarantee the safety of people to a degree, pero hindi mo yun masasabing 100%. So calling it moving towards the model of work in progress, parang it is also admitting na that we can make mistakes. We cross consent, we break consent, ganyan. We sometimes are not accountable. Tapos that is okay in the sense na kaya nating solusyonan. Para rin yan eh, it's a response to cancel culture. So instead of, since we are a community, tas tayo lang naman eh, masasaktan natin yung isa't isa. Pero since maliit pa tayo, we have the capacity to call each other in. Instead of calling people out na parang, mali ka, ganyan. We are able to actually call each other in. You can take somebody aside and then tell them, this actually is very hurtful words or whatever the harm has been caused. So parang instead of calling out, parang mas gusto ko na call in. Yeah. Of course, because we're playing in such a small scale. Of course, iba na yung usapan pag society at large. Pero, yun nga, parang this makes space for mistakes and for correcting them bago lumala. Kasi hindi naman assumption na we are perfect feminists, we are perfect individuals. Laging magkakamali. And the point is not to be perfect anyways. The point is to learn from when we fuck up. So that's what I want personally. Tapos kaya yun din yung pinag-project ko sa community. So those are some of the things that can help people who would like to establish safe spaces for themselves. in Sunday Nudes, any Sunday Nudes event, laging may intro. Kahit na tayo lang, tapos parang memorize na yung mga buhay nila. Parang importante na may introduction kasi it's a way of updating each other. It's a way of getting to know each other. Ano ba yung background mo? Ano ba yung bakit ka ba sumali? Ano ba yung intentions mo? So, grounding din siya. It's to get to know people and also parang ma-establish na ano ba yung ginagawa natin, ano ba yung intention natin. So, pag pare-pareho tayo or, more or less the same, then we go. So, that has been very helpful for Sunday Nudes kasi it gives a sense of community. And if there's a sense of community, people are willing to invest more, invest in attending, invest in each other's lives, In the recent years, I have weaned myself from using the term safe space kasi nga sobrang niya importante when establishing Sunday Nudes. Kasi I needed to feel safe. Therefore, I was looking for a safe space. Pero lately parang I don't know if you noticed, pero parang naging buzzword na siya. And unfortunately, the more we use a word, it loses its meaning. So, and sometimes safe space as a label is used to virtue signal, ganyan. These days, I'm leaning towards Sunday Nudes as a work in progress space. So it means na, kasi parang yung safe, parang na-perfecta na natin yung safety, we're done. Versus a work in progress space means it's an unending balancing act of people's comfort and safety and sharing and privacy. So yun, laging work in progress. Guidelines. Ito yung paano tayo makikitungo. So para na siyang structure na pag lumabag or you cross the line, alam mong you cross a line kasi napag na. So pre-established things. So that makes it easier to hold people accountable and for the people to be accountable. So, and with that accountability is also learning from your mistakes and making change. Kasi, di ba, nakikita na sa society na kulang accountability kasi magsusorry, tapos, di ba yung mga politiko natin yan, sorry, tapos, and no change. That's not accountability at all.
How did you came to the decision that you want to be a model? Is it just also deciding na ay gusto kong mag-gitara and then committing to it? And then when you're already there in front of everyone, do you also feel stage fright?
Sige. I can only speak to my own experience, and I think some of it is common, pero some of it is also specific to me. So when I started, in 2010, 2009, hindi pa uso masyado yung mga selfies, no? Sobrang inisip ko nga with your question, sobrang iba na yung mundo ngayon kasi it's common for everyone to have nudes on their phones. People didn't used to do that, no?
That's true.
So it was very unique in 2010, 2009 to be naked and in life to be publicly naked. I started because I saw a friend of mine na sketch siya of herself. So sabi ko, kaya ko rin yun Gusto ko din. So a lot of it was about vanity. And a lot of it was because wala akong inhibitions then. So I hear from other people who, like you, who would like to post. So merong inhibitions with the concept of being naked, etc. So wala ako noon masyado. So yeah, so I was willing, I was game. Tapos, and yun nga, I came across a space where naghanap sila na magpo-post. So parang lakas ng sense of volunteerism will go. So yun. But when I finally sat, so I prepared body scrub, body shimmer, ganyan, and diet, etc. But when I finally sat, nawala lahat yun. So I thought those were the important things. Parang napayat ka, na maganda ka, ganyan. But when I finally sat, iba yung naging importante. Biglang, I don't know, it was apparent right away for me na parang, the things that I prepared for aren't important at all. I mean, of course,
Again, to those who are not very familiar with figure modeling and also nude sketching, they always think that before you can model, you have to be sexy. You know, those unrealistic body standards that brands and entertainment showcase to us. So, normal ba to? Like, maybe in your own small group, have you also heard other figure models who struggled with this when they were starting out, just like you, na ganun yung notion nila na kailangan, ano ka, super duper model-like talaga?
so when I started posting na, so since it was a very good experience for me, luckily, I in-endorse ko na siya sa lahat ng kaibigan ko. Kasi nga, mga kaibigan ko rin, wala rin silang inhibitions masyado. So I thought, I could easily convince them. Because for me, figure modeling is life-changing. Like, it changed my point of view. It changed my relationship with my body. Ganyan. So, gusto ko rin na ma-experience yung joy ko, ma-experience din ng mga kaibigan ko. So, but when I do invite people, or even in Sunday Nudes, when I ask people to model, kasi wala namang professional model sa walang masyadong ganon, like maybe a few, pero walang professional figure model in the Philippines. So I would usually draw people from the theater, so yung mga alam kong gamay na yung katawan nila, but usually, or yung mga willing maghubad, yun lang naman ang characteristics na kailangan. But usually, more so before than now, people would be hesitant to post kasi nga tulad ng sabi mo, hindi pa kasi ako sanda sa katawan ko eh. Kailangan ko muna mag-diet, sandali lang, give me a couple of months, ganyan. So, laging hindrance. Kahit na super willing na yung tao, laging hindrance sa kanila yung either yung konsepto ng nudity or maybe more so yung acceptance nila ng katawan nila. Yun yung napapansin kong hindrance for people to post. So, yeah, I hear a lot of that because, pero yun nga, like I said, hindi nyo hinahanap ng artist unless you have a specific project in mind, and unless you're working towards a particular goal. If these are just artists who want to practice their craft, ganyan, hindi nila yan hinahanap. Wala silang, kailangan ganito yung katawan na gusto ko.
Yeah.
Wala. They are happy to have people post for them, especially if there's variation. Kasi nakakasawang lagi na lang mag-drawing ng macho, sexy, ganyan. Nakakasawa yun. Kasi yun na yung nakikita mo in accessible media. So they actually cherish its different body types, like weird configured. Yung mga basta anything, especially may dinadala kang unique, they enjoy it. So
kung iisa lang yung body type na may offer ng mga models, it's gonna be really boring eventually.
Like if you're exposed to live drawing sessions, either it doesn't matter if you're the artist or the model, the organizer, naimbita lang, you come out of it more body positive. Only because you see the variance in bodies. Na pag nakita ka ng regular type of body, pwede rin pala ako mag-post. It gives you that idea na yung katawan ko acceptable pala. So when you see a body like yours on the stage, parang, okay, I am worthy of being appreciated. Kasi hindi yung pananaw natin sa art, kaya din gusto natin ma-draw. Kasi parang, to immortalize. Ganyan. Kaya ako gusto kasi to immortalize. Tapos, pag nakikita mo yung parehong uri ng katawan mo, worthy of being immortalized, be seen as a thing of beauty, parang kaya mas nagiging body positive ang sinumang, ang mga uma-attend are likely to be more body positive. Kasi nga, napoproject mo yung sarili mo na katangi-tangi, karapat-dapat to be loved, adored.
You feel seen, no? Literally.
Yeah. I read somewhere that parang life drawing is about being seen. Exactly what you said. It's parang, so yeah, maybe there's something to that. Yeah, be comfortable in their bodies. Yun ang step 1. Kasi yun ang requirement talaga. Kasi nga, tulad nung napag-usapan natin previously, pag hindi ka komportable sa katawan mo, either awkward o kaya magiging performance, dating parang yung choreographic pose. So, be comfortable in your body. Yung authentic na ikaw. Yung hindi ka, kasi in photos, we hold our breath para maliit siya. In a sketch, hindi mo magagawa yan for like 20 minutes. So yeah, you need to be comfortable in your body. So, maybe you can practice at home. If you have poses na gusto mo, practice mo rin yung sa bahay. Baka kaya mo bang i-hold yun? Kasi minsan we have an idea of a pose, tapos pag in-execute, shit, nakangawit pala. So, yung doable lang ng katawan mo. So, if you're beginner, dun lang tayo sa mga madadaling pose din. Kasi kung mahirap ka agad, baka hindi mo na gusto yung mag-pose in the future. So, yun. So that's
may meron tayong mga models before nakahiga lang. Tapos I realized how comfortable it is for them.
Yes. Kaya if you look at artwork, di ba, yung kay Hoya, yung marami, kasi ang dali niya. So even for non-professionals, you can sit in recline, tapos madali siya. So yun, practice at home, be more comfortable with your body. Also, parang interrogate yourself, but mo gustong gawin? Para ma-align mo yung gagawin mo. Kasi, kumari, gusto mo lang makauwi ng sketch. E di maybe, magbayad ka ng artist, commission ng artist. O kaya gusto mo, o kaya ano ba, to feel more comfortable with your body. Ganyan, or to be seen. So, hanapin mo rin kung ba't mo ginagawa. And then start from there. Because in our, like I mentioned, in our workshops, isa rin yan sa mga unang tanong, bakit mo ba gusto mag-post? And then, maybe we can tailor the experience for you. Or one hinahanap ng mga artists, and that's like, yun na parang yun ang favorite thing nila about new models, na yung first timers, para ayan, di siya gumagalaw. Like that's, may star ka na agad sa artist pag di ka gumalaw. So yun. They actually enjoy the differences in the bodies, na hindi lang, parang lagi silang may mahanap na unique per model. So you don't have to be thin, you don't have to be like hardy of what an ideal body, a perfect body looks like. Maybe somebody approaches you and wants to work with you as their model. Sila naman yung tatanungin mo, ano ba yung agenda, 'di ba? Ano bang grupo or individual yung gusto mag-hire sa'yo? Ano bang uri ng sketching session? Para ba sa klase? Para ba sa personal practice? Ganyan. O para ba sa project? So, being a friend with them. Accountability person. Somebody who could speak for you when you can't. Somebody who can speak for you when you're naked. Di ba? Napakalaking vulnerability nun. Somebody who can like fix your angles, tell you na ito yung magandang pose. Somebody who can mind your stuff when you're in a session. So just all around friend na pwede mo rin i-debrief with the experience, because it's a very overwhelming experience then. That's personally, and also that's what I hear from first-timers. It's a very it's a shift, it's a profound joy, it's everything. It's like a full experience. So maganda na meron kang ka-debrief para mag-ground ka ulit after the experience. And then, mas madali mo ma-process yung experience na yun. If you want to post, start with a friend. Kunwari, wala kang access. Diba? In a world without Sunday Nudes, wala kang access. O kaya ngayon, I'm sure if you are inclined to post, meron ka ring artist friend. So, tapos yun, kasi kung hindi ka makakapag-post sa malapit sa'yo, somebody's familiar, parang makakapagbigay sila ng feedback, diba? For me, mas madali bang mag-post sa strangers o sa kaibigan mo? What do you think?
Ako sa strangers. Is it really necessary to post erotic, or to always be nude, or to always have some kind of sexual vibe?
Well, that depends on the agenda of like the project. So let's start with Sunday Nudes. For Sunday Nudes, it's not necessary at all, despite the name. Kasi, like I noticed sa usapan natin kanina with boundaries, the more So yeah, I say to the models na if you don't feel like posing nude, you can opt for like whatever you want to have on, or costumes, yung costume props, ganyan. And then, so that I balance that against the expectation of the artist. Are the artists going here specifically for the nudity, or are they going here for the experience, for the interaction with the model, however much clothes or skin they show? Tapos napansin ko, hindi naman necessary for the artist. So of course, I'm not speaking for all artists, pero at least from the feedback I'm getting, hindi naman sila nagagalit pag, oh, ba't hindi nude yung model? I haven't had those kinds of reactions. And I encourage people, sana magsabi sila if they feel cheated out of like a full session. So, but yeah, but actually boundaries are just, from what I've noticed, are just containers for the interaction that we can get. Parang we are defining this interaction, and from that definition, mas nagiging weirdly, mas malaya sila, or mas creative, or mas lumalago when you set like ito yung interaction natin. So, and as to the aspect of erotic, that would be weird if the point of a sketching session would be, well, in the limited definition of the erotic. Of course, erotic can also mean energy, can also mean creativity, pero yung erotic in the sense na like, ano ba, carnal or whatever. I ask artists, like, you always get this question, like when you are when somebody is naked in front of you, do you get aroused? And the majority of the artists I hear is that definitely not, because we are here parang dinodrawing ko siya. It's not, kasi iba yung mindset. Magkaiba yung mindset between like sex and a live drawing session. Ang nag-iisang pareho lang ay nudity. And unfortunately, in the world we live in, we conflate nudity with eroticism, sexuality, when it's like just one facet of being naked. So our default setting as humans are naked. As they say, we are born naked, we die naked. Kaya nga lang, sa mundong ginagalawan natin, parang na pareho, na pag nakahubad ka na, sexual ka na kagad. And I mean, there's a place for that kind of thinking, pero specifically in Sunday Nudes, gusto ko pang ipakita yung iba pang aspeto ng paghuhubad, hindi lang yung erotic, because you can get that from like advertising, from like everywhere else. We are inundated with images of the naked body as sex. Now that's not necessarily wrong or immoral or whatever those words, pero higit pa yung katawan sa ganun. Parang we are masyado na nating nalimita ang katawan at pananaw sa hubad na katawan, which is sex. Parang sayang, ang laki ng sinasayang natin. The body is a vehicle for pleasure, yes. For eroticism, yes. For joy. Alam mo yun? So parang it would be weird if the sketching session in particular would demand eroticism and nudity. So if they don't allow you to bring like a friend with you, that's a red flag. If they hit on like, if the offer is, I like your body, yung mga ganong wordings. If you feel uncomfortable in your gut, I'm a very big believer in gut instinct. So yun. I just trust my gut. If the project, hindi ko masabi, pero parang hindi ako komportable sa project na to. Nasa stress ako, iniisip ko pala. Pass.
Nandun na sila, nakasalta na sila. And then all of a sudden, they just feel like they want to stop the session. Maybe they're overwhelmed or just anything. Basta gusto na lang nilang umuwi.
These things, sa pag-aaral ko ng mga feminism, mga white supremacy, these facades of professionalism, of being nice, of being presentable, are tools of oppression. I mean, we're comfortable using it kasi we mostly benefit from it, or do we actually benefit? Pero seeming professional, is that more important than feeling safe? So, yun nga, ako gusto kong baguhin yun. Kasi ako, at kaya ako lang naman gusto kong baguhin kasi parang I don't want to also work under those assumptions. Kasi gusto ko, if I don't feel comfortable, I'm able to leave. So kaya ko rin lang in-implement sa community is because I want that option that embolden the people to be able to do the same. So ako, ayoko nang naiipit ako between choosing professionalism and my personal safety. Kaya yun, since I am the organizer, and in this case, ako yung merong sa power dynamic, I am I hold more power. Kaya rin ibinababa ko na lang. But yeah, it also stems from from my desire to not have to choose between professionalism and my personal safety. So in this, kasi maliit lang naman napakadaling kontrolin. So bago natin ma-enforce into larger society, ako ang kaya ko lang naman baguhin yung iniikutan ko. That's why yun yung tinatry kong gawin sa community. Na if something bad, you feel something is off, you must be empowered to leave. So more than I have the right to leave, I actually dapat i-empower mo yung mga models. Na actually pwede, go. At the first sign of, alam mo yun, at the first sign of danger, go. Yeah. Actually, in larger society, dapat din kinakausap natin yung mga women or people of minority genders na they should listen to their gut and they leave and they don't need to have a reason if it's their safety that is compromised. So in Sunday Nudes, ang pinnacle of the guidelines is the model has the final say about their safety and security. So if the model says, pagod na ako, I need a break, go. If the model says, I don't feel safe, go. If the model says, pero hindi pa naman nangyari, unfortunately. Pero yeah, that's the point of telling the models na kung kailangan mo magpahinga ka. Parang in a larger scale that also tells you na kung ayaw mo na dito, you're free to leave. So it's important to embolden people. Kasi nga, in that scenario, the person who is naked is the most vulnerable. So isa rin sa mga baseline ng Sunday Nudes is, or actually establishing places of safety is prioritizing the voices of kung sino yung sa power dynamic, kung sino yung mas less power, kung sino yung mas vulnerable, yun dapat ang pina-prioritize. So in the case of Sunday Nudes, you're more vulnerable when you're naked. So your voice is prioritized kasi nga mas mahihirapan kang
voice out.
To voice out your needs. So kaya yun nakalagay doon kasi para embolden yung model. So back to your question, you should be able to go. Pero yun nga, ang mahirap lang doon, kaya rin naman tayo hindi umaalis sa sitwasyon na delikado para sa atin, we also don't feel safe doing that. Yeah. For a model to leave a post, kailangan niya magbihis. You are disrupting, di ba? You're disrupting what's happening.
True.
So, kailangan magbihis, kailangan hindi mo hanapin mo yung exit. Alam mo, ang daming steps. So a lot of the time, you just, keep status quo. Pero yun din yung hinahasa ko with the people I work with in the community na disrupt if you need, if it's a matter of your safety and disrupting what's going on, the energy, please feel free to leave. Kasi that's very important.
The guidelines that you created before were meant for the environment we had. Like, enclosed talaga siya and in a place na it's a private place. So everyone is really safe. Hindi siya yung hotel or motel. So very controlled yung lugar niya. But now that everything is brought online, actually that part you haven't told the story yet na napunta na online ang Sunday Nudes ngayon. So now that it's online, and I know you had a lot of back and forth with yourself about that kasi marami ka nga ring iniisip about it. So how are you working on that guidelines now na naka-Zoom lahat?
Now that we move online, may option na kung ayaw mong in the conversations that we record. So may option na pwedeng iba yung pangalan mo or the name that you wish to go by. So ganun din. Binabalanse yung anonymity and privacy sa being involved in the community. And so far, it's been a good balance. Hindi naman nakakancel ng isa yung one the other. So yeah, that has been good. My personal plan was just to give a lay low, pero yeah, just have not have sessions because we cannot. So hindi ko pa na-imagine na mag-shift online. Parang, di pahinga muna tayo until the opportunity arrives so that we can see each other in real life. Now, I wasn't operating on the assumption na soon na rin yun. So I was thinking maybe 5 years that we won't have sessions. But I had enough hope for the community na pagbalik natin in more or less 5 years time, meron naman tayong babalikan. Or I mean, I don't even know what the shape of that is, but I had enough hope na masusustain kahit wag muna mag-session. But parang when I was checking up on people or still engaging with people from the community, nakita ko na parang people are wanting for exactly that, community. Dahil nga nakakulong tayo sa mga bahay natin noon hanggang ngayon, parang gutom sa interaction, and they miss the spaces that they were able to occupy before. So I that kind of opened me up to the idea na maybe magkakaroon ng tambay, ganyan. Kaya rin nabuhay yung community check-ins. It was really to check in on each other. Okay pa ba tayo, guys? Parang how are we health-wise, mental health, physical health, ganyan. So, but then I also started asking even foreign sketching session. Kasi nakita ko yung mga foreign sketching session. They quickly shifted online. Ako, hindi ko alam kung mape-preserve ko ba my idea of safety kung mag-shift online. Kasi ang daming yung mga encryptions, those kinds of things, hindi naman ako particularly adept at. Pero parang, so what kept me going and what kept me imagining, maybe we can do sessions online, maybe we can whatever, are the people themselves na talking to the community. They gave me ideas. For instance, we had an online exhibit. Ang hirap mag-isip ng year, 2020, 2021. Yeah. In a pandemic year, nagkaroon ng isang online exhibit. Now, that's something I personally can't do, pero it was enabled. It was through the power of community, literally. Kaya nagkaroon ng exhibit. May nag-volunteer na ako gagawa nung online space. May volunteer na siya yung magko-connecta ng Facebook Live. So, it was really people volunteering what they can do because guys, wala akong alam, but I'm happy to gather us together. Yun lang yung ambag ko. So it was always coming from the community, the prompts, the impetus, the energy para ibalik lang din kung ano pa ba yung pwedeng gawin. So all I had to figure out was if we can keep it safe when we transition online. So same guidelines apply. Nobody's allowed to take video recording of the sketching of the models when they're nude. Ganun lang din, same. It translated, and so yun. So far, we have kept it despite the shift. Parang na-keep naman yung mga ideas and the integrity of our online live drawing sessions. Although marami nang na-miss nung
Iba talaga ang Iba talaga nagagawa ng community saka ng volunteerism.
Yeah.
It makes things happen.
Damang-dama. Tapos people are quick to adjust. Akala ko kasi not being an artist, baka ayaw ng artist na magsisketch lang sila sa video kasi isn't it the same as like I don't know, yung mga what do you call that? Those spaces na merong recordings. Tapos they just play that. They can replay it para, alam mo yun, hindi ba mas madali? Pero they're still interested in like a live online drawing session. Tapos naisip ko, gusto mo ba ng mga model mag-post? It feels like, yun nga, streaming. But apparently, they still do. And in fact, parang one of the good things that the lock, huwag na nga natin bigyan ng credit ang lockdown. But one of the positive things that existing online has done is that Pinoys in the States now can join our sessions, or our Filipinos in other places that, malayo sa dati nating venue, they can join. Tapos, the models were able to perform in a manner na kontrolado na yung ilaw, kontrolado nila yung energy, kontrolado nila yung yung camera setup. So, and also they turned it into a completely full performance despite being limited by online existence. So parang the negative, the points that I thought would be a negative actually introduce us into like a completely different experience. So masaya rin siya. It's a different kind of animal, but the ideas behind the sessions remain the same. The integrity is the same. So I'm enjoying it. Always surprised.
Oo, so parang nangyari, na-empower pa yung artists because everyone was online. Kasi they had more control as compared nung yung environment na medyo mas hindi sila makagalaw kasi syempre medyo compromised sila dahil wala silang damit. So parang it's either their assistants, which are usually their friends or family, or you are the one that's fixing everything around them. This time around, yun yung nagkaroon ng different perspective, or siguro kasi mga artists nga nagkaroon ng different way of approaching the sketches and the modeling.
Yun din ang gusto ko sa mga models, parang they work with what we have. Walang kontra, walang pangit, gano'n. Talagang laging game. Sige, na iba yung format, game. Parang, and also another thing, just to add din sa kanina, I also hear a lot of like first-time joiners sa session na parang, nahiya kasi ko noon kasi wala akong kilala ngayon, nasabay lang ako. The more introverted people are encouraged to join. Swerte lang din na bago dumating yung pandemic, medyo established na yung community. Kasi like, I can't imagine starting a live drawing session from scratch online dahil pandemya. So I'm super swerte na nasabi mo nga, parang naka-establish na tayo enough community, enough sense of community, enough like relationships with the individuals from the community, enough parang trust in each other then, and friendship na hindi, yun nga, like I said, hindi naka-hinge on the internet, on being online, yung existence of the group and events that rise from mga huddle ng mga tao. So yeah.
So I wanted to have your thoughts on this as someone who maintains a social media page. Like, gaano siya kahirap on your, or mahirap ba siya on your side kapag nagpo-post ka ng mga sketches? Kasi syempre the artists as well, they also wanted to show their art. For me, I also post my own sketches sa Instagram, and buti naman hindi pa nare-report. Pero yun, I'm pretty sure you get the heat because obviously your group title is already controversial to most people. So how do you work around it, and what's your experience so far? May best practices ka ba about it?
Actually, two-pronged. Parang dalawang uri ng censorship ang nararamdaman ko sa online spaces. One is, being, like you mentioned, shadow banned or even deleted by the platform kasi it is deemed too controversial o kaya, sabi nga, against community guidelines. Palang mukha, meron silang, and, diba, parang that's a slap in the face because ginagawang moral issue yung nudity. Parang yun nga, nabanggit natin kanina, ginagawang erotic, therefore immoral. So, tahi-tahi na yan. But yeah, and then the second one, the kind of censorship is my own personal censorship. Kasi nga, yun, actually, mas nahirapan ako doon kasi censorship in the sense that limiting the community to where I feel it is safe. So parang, for the first kind of censorship, it used to affect me a lot kasi nga, the function of having these social media accounts is to get people to attend the session para makapag-put up pa ng, kasi yun nga, self-sustaining. Hindi naman to, it's for profit, pero hindi naman na kumikita ng walang kumikita. Walang kumikita. What I try to ensure is that the models are fair. Yun lang, yun ang minimum requirement of a session. Tapos, and then ngayon, may pangbayad na tayo sa Zoom, and then, so yun yung, and then, if may extra, that's the profit. That's a real profit. Pero so yeah, so the point of being on these platforms is para makalat, to spread the word, and hopefully more people would join the community. Pero hindi na rin, for a long time, it hasn't served me in that fashion. So when Sunday Nudes started, we had a Facebook account, we had Instagram. Actually, we also have a Twitter account, but that was never public. So all the top media sites para to, yun nga, for the word to spread, to get more attendees. Pero slowly being online as a woman or non-binary person is difficult, as you can attest. Kasi parang your body is scrutinized, your voice is scrutinized. What more kung ang social media account is about nudity. So yun. So I started learning the hard way na maybe it's not that good an idea to be that public online. So I started closing up the Facebook. So now Sunday News doesn't have a Facebook page because I get a lot of harassment from that. Like, sabi mo nga, the word nude is in the name. So I get like messages from children, like literal children, teenagers asking for nudes. And it breaks my heart kasi parang, alam mo yun, they're still in their formative years. Hindi ako 100% magalit sa kanila because they're not full-blown. Sure, they're just like, messaging tons of pages, asking for nudes. But it upsets me that these people would grow up to be the future harassers or fascists or, those flavors of people because they don't know how to engage online with like women and non-binary people. So yeah, so I had to close up Facebook page because it was stressing me out too much. And then on Instagram, we constantly get, dati, lagi na delete kasi nga I post nude photos consented by the model. Tas na-delete din. So, it would piss anyone off kasi pinost mo yon. Tas wala ka namang bad intentions for posting it. You just want to share the beauty, the gloriousness of a naked body. And also the energy from the session, that's very apparent in those photos. And then those would be taken down. Tapos I had to do a self-inquiry. Ano bang point ng pagpo-post ng mga hubad na katawan? Sabi ko, napapalago niya ba yung pag ba dinilit, nawawala na yung essence ng session? Parang hindi naman. So naisip ko, wag na lang. Para una, hindi ma-ban yung page or ma-delete. And also, that's not the point anyways of us being online and the sessions. It's not to advertise naked bodies anyways. It's for people to come together to share an activity. So from the censorship of Instagram, I also started self-censoring in that sense. Pero initially it was difficult and parang it pissed me off because meron akong paniniwala na dapat hindi sinsensor ang katawan. Pero, I have since shifted na, since hindi naman naka-ankla doon yung essence or like what we're trying to do with the community, it's okay to let go. And also, like, even if all these social media accounts get deleted, huwag naman. The thing that keeps me going is that even if we don't exist online, the community persists. So the essence of community does not live on Instagram or Facebook, and therefore that liberates me, at least, na parang hindi rin ako under the scrutiny or wala ako under the scrutiny or I'm not under the thumb of the algorithm. So I'm not a slave to the algorithm. Kasi nga, since I do believe that community can exist out and does exist outside of these social media platforms, it doesn't matter what they do with like our posts. Those are just posts. So I can easily let go of that stuff. Kasi nga, yun, the community goes beyond social media.
Oo.
The plans for Sunday Nudes, what I've learned from years, grabe, para namang, pero totoo, napakatagal na naman. It doesn't feel like that, but yeah. Kwento lang, towards your point kanina, there has, in the past, ang bigat ng Sunday Nudes dalhin. For me, there was even a point na akala ko, I was resigning to the fact na if Sunday Nudes is gone, like if I'm not able to continue it, then it like I'll have it die. Kasi ngayon parang mahihirapan na akong i-let go siya, feeling ko. I mean, in that sense, na it wouldn't continue. So, pero yun nga, even in time and also feeling ko natimpla ko na rin kung ano yung gusto ko para sa akin. Tapos, and that's actually just to follow where the community takes you. Dati kasi parang, ang bigat niya kasi ako, parang ano ba gagawin ko? But when it translated to saan ba tayo dinadala ng community, it has become easier. So the plans for the future of Sunday Nudes is for it to continue to evolve, because that's what I learned in the past 5 years of organizing. That the one thing true about Sunday Nudes is that it's ever evolving. So your question earlier, like I didn't see this for Sunday Nudes where we are now. From when we started, hindi ko alam na ito yung trajectory, but I'm happy. I'm only happy that we've come this far and it is what it is now. So my only goal for Sunday Nudes is to continue to evolve, and the only requirement of that is follow where the community takes me. Kasi nga, like I always say, ako yung pinaka malaking beneficiary ng Sunday Nudes community. Feeling ko lang. Hindi ko lang totoo yun. Baka may mas maraming nag-benefit. Pero like, I really feel yung benefit of the community in my real life. Na minsan, Sunday Nudes, dati kasi buhay ko yung reference, tapos sa Sunday Nudes ko dinadala. Lately, parang yung Sunday Nudes, tapos kukopyahin ko sa buhay ko. That's what I do now. Kasi parang, nakikita mo na siyang evolving or working. So parang I apply what I learned from the community to my real life. That's what has happened now. And I'm glad that we're still here 5 years on despite the pandemic. Pero nagulat ako na pandemic-proof pala yung Sunday Nudes. That was good to know. Parang ang daming businesses na nagsara. But Sunday Nudes is still here. I mean, it's not like hindi siya profitable. I mean, in the sense that it keeps itself alive. Pero alam mo yun, pero hindi nga yun, like you said earlier, hindi nga yun yung importante. Hindi importante yung profit, ang importante ay magpatuloy siya. So yun, yeah, I'm just here for the ride. Of course, there are plans. Like, na-introduce na sa community yung meditation. That's, medyo malayo na yun. Malayo-layo na yun sa sinimulan ng, like, the initial idea for Sunday Nudes. But it feels like it's one way to take care of our mental health. and it's something that people from the community can offer and / people from the community are interested in doing. So meron na. So yon pa lang. Hindi ko alam kung ano pa ba magagawa natin online. We were supposed to have a live drawing session sa Parks and Wildlife. Kaya lang na off. So parang that's also a different thing kasi we haven't done on-site sketching. That hasn't happened before. So it kind of keeps evolving. Pa din, minsan inline, pero minsan completely different direction. But I'm just enjoying where the community takes Sunday. So, parang yun din ang isa sa mga na-enjoy ko sa Sunday Nudes, yung mga conversations. Kasi you get to hear, well, for me, I get affirmed. Kasi we had topics like asexuality and aromanticism, queerness, ganyan. Parang it's very affirming to hear from people, like different walks, not too different, pero different ages, different genders, different parang parang wala tayong experience. So it feels very grounding and affirming. And it also feels enriching pag iba naman yung opinion nila or iba yung background nila.
So that's really something that's special, and the reason why I keep on coming back to Sunday Nudes. Kasi kung sketch lang, maraming sketch dyan.
Totoo. Naging yung sketching. Ang agenda, ang pinupunta ng tao ay tao. And that is why the algorithm doesn't bother us. That's why even though like we don't get like 50 attendees, that's fine. So parang kaya rin siya pandemic proof. It's because of all of these things. And apparently that's what community is. That's what So yung sa community talaga bumabalik yung mga ginagawa natin sa mga events.
And that's it for this episode. If you want to learn more about Sunday Nudes, check out their Instagram at sundaynudes.ph. And since you are here, please go and watch our first episode, Ang Mito at Pagwiwika ng Kasarian sa Kasaysayan ng Pilipinas. Thank you for watching.